Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the match between Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund. In this video, it's going to be a little different compared to the previous pre-match preview that we had. We're going to be talking about the starting 11 that Hansi Flick has experimented with, some of the words that Hansi Flick had to say during the pre-match press conference, and especially with Gavi. Gavi wanted to shut down the critics during his interview today. It was very interesting, and I do want to expand more on it because I believe that it is going to be a very important discussion. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about Nico Williams once again being linked with FC Barcelona, and Hansi Flick also giving out the green light to sign Nico. And if Barcelona cannot sign Nico, let's say that he does go to a different club and Barcelona are left with no other options, the one player I would like to recommend is going to be Alex Baena. So it is going to be a massive, but I mean like massive video. And so let's get straight to it. First things first, Hansi Flick versus Dortmund has a great record so far as a manager. He has gotten 6 wins out of 6 matches. Hansi Flick as a manager has never lost against Borussia Dortmund, which is always a great sign, and hopefully tomorrow we can make it 7-7. And during the training sessions, it was seen, according to some reporters, that Hansi Flick has rehearsed his 11 for tomorrow, which included Szczesny in goal, Jules Koundé, Kubarsi, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde at the back, with Frankie and Pedri in the double pivot position. But when it comes to the attacking four, I did mention that Ferran Torres should be playing as a number 10, but the only difference that Hansi Flick had in this 11 was to place Fermin Lopez between Rafinha and Lamine Yamal, with Lewandowski up top. So it does seem like Fermin Lopez will be playing the number 10 for Barcelona tomorrow. And before this rehearsed 11, during the training sessions, Hansi Flick has also shown all Barcelona players an extensive analysis video on Dortmund, which lasted a total of 52 minutes. So they have been really analyzing Borussia Dortmund to understand how they do play, what are their weaknesses, what are their strengths. Then they went on and said, okay, this is going to be the 11, and everything that we have learned during this video, we're going to have to implement this with this exact group of players. So Barcelona are very much preparing themselves. It's very fascinating to see. Moving on towards the pre-match press conference, Hansi Flick has stated Dortmund have exploited their strengths in attack very well. That means for us, we have to try to control their attack, but also put pressure on the ball. That's what we're trying to do. We've come this far to keep going, not to stop here, but we really want to try in these 2 games. We know it's going to be difficult because Dortmund are very stable at the moment. We're clear about how we want to play, and we want to go far in the Champions League. We have to focus on what's important to keep going. And in the Champions League, playing at home is always better because we perform better. We like to wrap it up now. I have confidence in the team, and we're also in good form. As for Rafinha, I believe that we gave Rafinha a rest after the break. He's training perfectly, just like before. He's active, dynamic, and he's ready to start in tomorrow's game. So overall, the conclusion that I'm starting to get from Hansi Flick is he wants to wrap this up in the first leg. Like, he wants to win 3-0, 4-0 before we get into the second leg, because one of the things that I have noticed about the second leg is Borussia Dortmund on their part, they're going to have to play Barcelona in the first leg, then Bayern Munich after, and then 2 or 3 days later, they play Barcelona yet again. By the time Dortmund get into that third match, aka the second leg for Dortmund, they're going to be so tired because of the players, because of the amount of games they have to play, and also because they have to deal with so many injuries. So it's highly likely that these players are going to be fatigued for the second leg, which makes it easier for us to really defend our lead that we could make in the first leg. Hopefully and ideally, we can end it on a 3-0 or 4-0 scoreline, because honestly, I just don't see the coach of Dortmund saying that we need to rotate for the match against Bayern because we have to be well rested for the second leg against FC Barcelona. There's just no way. They're going to want to win Bayern Munich because Dortmund are in 8th place and they do have a great chance on missing out any European competitions like the Champions League or the Europa League. Moving on towards Gavi's press conference, and this is what he stated. Since I was young, I have always been a starter in every game, but this season hasn't been the case. That's football. At the end of the day, I have to accept that I won't always be in the starting lineup. When you're at La Masia, you always dream of winning the treble or sextuple. With this club, we'll try to win it all. Of course, I like to retire at Barcelona, but you never know. It's true that many things can happen in football and injuries happen, but I'd sign up for it. Then he stated, which is the most important one, a lot of people think I don't know how to play football, but they don't have a freaking clue. But he did say the other word, right? I can't cuss on here because apparently YouTube does not like me to cuss and say the F word, but he did say, but they don't have a freaking clue. I think I'm 100% fit since I have returned. It's another matter whether I'm more comfortable in some games than in others. I'm calm and happy with my performance. So let's stop right there, right? And I do want to talk about how Gavi tried to assess the media and how he felt about the people thinking that he does not know how to play football. So look, to me, Gavi's preseason started when he came back mid-season, right? And for him, preseason was essential because of his physical and psychological recovery recoveries that he had to make. I mean, like, he was out for 10 months. He really needed a good preseason. But Gavi had to enter mid-season, like around November, and it was around the time where Barcelona were really blossoming and scoring a lot of goals, becoming one of the best teams in the world. And so, as you can imagine, Gavi, who came back from an ACL injury, just getting thrown in there without no preseason, of course, many people were going to see Gavi as a slow player or somebody that is not in the same rhythm of the rest of the Barcelona players. Hence the reason why Hansi Flick has also been given him very limited playing time. He wanted to slowly integrate the player into the 11, or at the very least as an impact sub. Now, because of this situation, because Gavi has yet to really immerse himself into Barcelona's system, one of the things that is very dangerous during this moment is social media. The only thing that you do get from social media as a football player, it is negativity. It does not matter how good you play, how well you play, how world class you play. It does not matter. You will always receive negativity. Even Messi, okay? If Messi receives negativity on social media, what makes you think that other players won't get negativity? That is all you're going to get. What Gavi has been saying here by stating that you guys don't think I know how to play football, it is him reading the comments, right? Because that has been one of the biggest debates that all of us are very well aware of on X or on YouTube or on Instagram. Many people, and most are not really Barcelona fans, right? But many people like to state that Gavi does not know how to play football, not like Pedri, not like Frankie, and not like anybody else, or Dani Olmo. Gavi supposedly does not have the technical skills to become a great player at Barcelona. This is what Gavi wanted to assess, and Gavi is showing us that yes, he is in the comments, he is reading what the media is saying, because I don't see any other reporter or journalist going up to him face to face saying you don't know how to play football. So where else do you think all of this is coming from? Where do you think Gavi is getting his feedback from? It is from social media, and that is a very dangerous thing, because when you are trying to deal with the fact that you need to grow yourself into the system under Hansi Flick because you had a huge 9-month spell out of football, and at the same time you're reading these comments, it's going to get to you. You're going to get angry. And let me tell you, this sounds very similar to the situation of Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal is somebody that likes to read comments. He looks at it and says, okay, I'm going to try and do something in the next match that might get this person mad. Yamal likes doing that. And we talked about how negative and how harming that could be for the future of the player's career. Yes, it is fun to see it like maybe once every 3 years. It's okay. I have no problem with that. But if it is constantly in your head and even after the game, that is where it does get very unhealthy. We cannot allow that. Now, here's the thing. I also understand what type of world we live in. We live in a very different world compared to how it was in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, when Ronaldo and the Messis and the Rooneys and the Teveses, all those players, right, were coming up. They were not so concerned about what social media had to say because there really wasn't any social media. And in today's times, it is much easier to see what the world is saying about you. So I understand what type of world we're living in. But at the same time, there needs to be self-accountability. We also do have the power to disassociate ourselves from these messages and what people are saying. We can also do that. That is something that you could control. What we cannot control is what people say to us, but we can control how easy or how hard we do receive the feedback. We don't have to scroll on social media a lot. There has to be more self-accountability. I know that it is hard. I get it. I really do. Like, I understand that these players, they have hundreds and millions of followers. People want to say things and you're playing football day in, day out. There is maybe that idea at the back of your head that says, hey, why don't you check the comments to see what people are saying? I really do understand that. I get the world that we are living in, but at the same time, too much of it will destabilize you and it will bring negativity in your career. And you're always going to be thinking about, what are people going to say if I do this play? What are people going to say if I make this pass? Oh yeah, I remember what people have been saying about me as a number 10. Let me show them how I can perform as a number 10. I'm going to be doing all these tricks and all these dribbles, etc., etc. It's not good. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about this is the first time I've heard Gavi speak like this. So maybe this is the first time and the last time, and Gavi may not ever talk about this ever again. And he does all the talking on the pitch. I really do hope that is the case, because I honestly do like the fact that Gavi stated this and he assessed the media and what people have been saying, that, you know, these people have no freaking clue, no idea what they're talking about, because we all know that the majority of these comments is true. They don't know what they're talking about. Like, every time I go on X and I see these people talking about Gavi or Olmo or whoever, Lamine Yamal, or trying to say that Salah is better than Lamine Yamal, these people have no idea what they're talking about. And the majority of these comments come from people who are like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. So good, right? Good that Gavi went out there and shut off all of these trolls and unfair criticism, because Gavi, if anything, he is a great footballer. Maybe not a footballer that many of us do admire in terms of style, because he's not like a Pedri or a Musiala, but Gavi is still very much a world-class footballer. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys remember, but Gavi just scored a goal, against Real Betis. And so, like, what's going on here? I am always going to circle around FC Barcelona. It all comes down to what Barcelona must do. To me, Barcelona has to be tasked with balancing the players' development and recovery while also managing fan expectations. They have to find effective strategies strategies to shield the player from the toxic online environments, and at the same time still being well connected to the real supportive fans. One player that I would like to assume is handling all of this well, it is Pedri, because the amount of times people have talked about Pedri and how they're saying that Pedri is better than Bellingham, or Bellingham is better than Pedri, or Pedri is better as a number 10, or Pedri is too weak. There's so many more negative noise surrounding Pedri, but you never hear anything from the player. He does all the talking on the pitch, and so Pedri is a great example on what a player should look like when it comes to receiving all of this negative information, but rejecting that and just playing your football and being well tuned with the real world and not on social media. So now let's move on towards the next conversation, and let's talk about Nico Williams. It has been said according to Sport that Hansi Flick has given Barcelona the green light to sign Nico Williams. The club will restart negotiations with him very shortly. Now, first things first, right? I know that there is this huge link up between Nico and Barcelona because of multiple reasons. Nico knows the players, Barcelona have been interested in Nico. Nico was also open to moving to FC Barcelona. It does seem like the world does revolve around Nico and Barcelona, but as of April 8th, 2025, Nico is being linked with other clubs, and clubs are interested in Nico's services. For example, Arsenal have a strong and ongoing interest for Nico. It's not just FC Barcelona. Barcelona are going to be having some competition here. Arsenal's pursuit of Williams has been well documented over the past few months, and Arteta is a huge admirer of the player. Even the sporting director of Arsenal, who is brand new by the way, has also taken significant steps to advance this interest. The sporting director has held talks with Nico Williams' agents, including his agent Felix Tenta, to discuss a potential move to Arsenal. He's going to be worth around 58 million euros, and Arsenal are willing to give him a huge financial wage package at around 250,000 euros per week, which is going to be around 12 to 13 million euros a season, maybe even more. And could Barcelona match such a financial package? I don't think so. We'll see what Nico Williams does choose in the end, because if Nico Williams is solely just worried about how much he does get paid per year, then of course Arsenal is going to win. Barcelona have no say. But if Nico Williams wants to have that type of career success where he can win multiple trophies and play with his teammates, Barcelona would be the ideal place. Now, Arsenal do have some players that are from Spain, like Mikel Merino, David Raya, even Mikel Arteta is Spanish himself, but it is not compared to what Barcelona have with Pedri, Alejandro Balde, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, Gavi, Kubarsi, etc. The experience is just much different. I do think though, in the end, Barcelona need to find a left winger. They need to find another one, somebody who can bring the competition to Rafinha, because every time Rafinha knows that he's going to be receiving competition, Rafinha gets the best out of himself. I remember a few months ago, he was stating that I saw people posting my number 11 shirt with Nico Williams' name on social media. That was very disrespectful. It was a joke, but in a very bad taste. We have to respect players who are here. And this was around the time Rafinha was like on fire during the season. So you can just see that what makes Rafinha tick is the fact that there could be a player that could take his position. He does not even like rumors. So Barcelona have to sign another left winger, and the player that I do want to propose is going to be Alex Baena. Alex Baena is somebody who has been very consistent with Villarreal. If we look at his numbers here, 28 matches so far, 6 goals and 7 assists. Last season, he played 45 matches, which was a lot of matches, 5 goals and 17 assists. That's really, really good. He was averaging around 0.8 to 0.9 goal contributions per 90 minutes. His release clause is going to be around 50 million euros, so it is going to be slightly cheaper compared to Nico. He's also going to have the league experience, and I would also say that he is a player that is close to Musiala more than Leao. So he's not like a true pure left winger like what we would get with Leao or Nico Williams. Alex Baena is much more of a creator number 10 who happens to play on the left wing. He has the speed, he has the pace, but he does carry characteristics of a number 10. Hence the reason why he is being named as a left midfielder, or maybe as a number 10 or a left winger. He is that dynamic. Now, since the start of last season, in terms of La Liga players with the most assists, Alex Baena has 21, who is number 1. Rafinha comes in 17, who is in second place, and third place is Nico Williams. In terms of big chances created, Lamine Yamal has 36, first place. Alex Baena comes in second with 33, and Rafinha comes in on 29, which is third place. And then when it comes to chances created, Alex Baena yet again is on the list, who is the most consistent with 166 chances created. Number 2 comes in at Aspas, which is 119, and then Rafinha at 117. So there's a huge gap between Alex Baena and Aspas in this attacking metric here. It's crazy. He is the best creator in Spain. Even when it comes to most chances created in the big 5 leagues under 23s, Alex Baena is number 1 with 83 total. To put into perspective, Cole Palmer has 71 chances created. Here is also going to be a graph of where Baena does sit when it comes to expected assists per 90, and look at where players like Olis and Lamine Yamal and Florian Wirtz and Kimmich are at. Baena is a monster. How would Baena compare to somebody like Nico Williams if we were to go for him and we cannot get Nico, and Nico goes to Arsenal and whatever, right? Alex Baena is superior when it comes to key passes, assists, expected goals, and expected assists. So he's very much on paper much better. Now, Nico Williams is superior when it comes to attacking actions, carries, and dribbles, but I believe that if you put Baena in the correct environment and in a correct system like Barcelona where we attack over and over again, his numbers are going to skyrocket when it comes to attacking actions and carries and dribbles, and at the same time keeping his attacking metrics of key passes, assists, and goal contributions. It's very, very exciting. So let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think about Alex Baena as an alternative to Nico Williams if Barcelona cannot sign the player? And I would also say as an alternative to Rafael Leao. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.